bring in our first guest, and we'll bring her in, then we'll take a quick break. She is a family law attorney, Lene DeRutter. I hope I said your name correctly.
You did. Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So are you before we get into all of the things that involve family law, two things here I want to know. Are you a big Frank Sinatra fan?
I am. Actually, you played my favorite song.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
So when you said guess, I was waiting for you
Yes.
to see if you got it.
Yeah.
No, I got it.
Yeah, you got it.
No, I got it.
You got
I
it.
got it.
There is nothing like the sounds of Frank Sinatra, in my opinion.
Yep.
He's on my Spotify playlist, and I love listening to it when I go to the gym on cardio day because it's very soothing. So as my heart pounds and I just want to quit and go home and cry like a baby, I listen to him, and it just kind of calms me
Here's
down.
a quick question.
Yes.
If you couldn't listen to Frank Sinatra, which would you rather listen to, Dean Martin or Sammy Davis Jr.?
Dean Martin.
Oh, wow, that was quick.
That was quick.
I might go with Sammy Davis,
go with
honestly.
Sammy Davis.
I would too.
Your smile so warm and your cheeks so soft.
I really think I grew up in the wrong era. I think I should have been a product of the 1950s. I'm being very serious. The industrial age, the sounds, this is great music back then.
The Voice, they called him.
Yeah, and you know what? Everyone dressed up. They wore a suit, They go to see a baseball game, they wore a suit.
Think of how hot it would be today going to see a Rangers game all dressed up.
They did it. It's just as hot now as it was back then. So they all sat through
Smoking a cigar.
Smoking a cigar, taking a flight, and smoking on the plane. Oh, man, things have changed. And I was kind of segueing into things were a lot different back in the 50s when people were married, right?
Yes.
Marriage
Yes.
probably lasted a little bit longer in the 50s than it does now.
Well, I think it was a different era. It was a different belief system. It wasn't accepted. Divorce wasn't accepted as much.
Wasn't an option.
Wasn't really an option, right? People stayed married because that's what you did.
You
right?
got married and you stayed married, no
You stayed
matter
married.
maybe how bad the situation was.
Yeah.
Which nobody should stay in an abusive relationship.
Mm.
But if you had a little bit of problems, you worked it out. You just didn't get a divorce.
Right. And I think just the evolution of our society has changed what marriage looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, marriage is no longer the traditional husband and wife.
Mm-hmm.
So that plays into things as well.
Yeah. And that's really interesting. And I know where I stand biblically on that. But it's really interesting because if two guys and two girls, they love each other and they want to become partners and support each other for the rest of their life, who am I? Honestly, who am I to judge and say you can't do that? Who am I?
Yes.
That's it. That's all I got to say. I mean,
Yeah.
I go ahead.
I was wondering if that was going any other place. And then you're just, who am
I shouldn't be the person that judges that. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
It is what it is. If that's how they feel. That's how they feel.
I think a lot of things are being accepted more too. Divorce is accepted, different blended families, second marriages, third marriages. It's a very normal way of being now versus even 20, 30 years ago, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when I was growing up, it was a big deal. People were getting divorced. It was this, oh my God, they're getting divorced, right? And lots of talk around that.
Now it's just kind of like,
yeah.
everybody's doing it.
Yeah. I suppose the big question, though, is have things gotten better, or have things gotten worse, or a little bit in between?
That is the question. And we will address that when we come back. You can always go to our website, 620 AM KEXB. For more information on this show, you can follow us on social media as well. And we'll come back. We'll get all the contact information for Lene here. But until then, let's go to break. Let's play your favorite song. Why not, right? We'll do that. Right here on 620 AM KEXB, your experts.
Tonight.
This is 620 AM KEXB, the business experts.
Here's a look at your traffic on 620 AM KEX.
My conscience bear its witchcraft.
Oh, I love that song. That is Witchcraft, Frank Sinatra, as we're featuring Frank Sinatra on the show today. All right, I'm going to bring in, once again, Lene Ali DeRutter. Hope I said that correctly.
You did,
I love
thank
your last
you.
name. Where's that? What's the origin of that? You know?
DeRutter?
Yeah, do you know?
I
I'm
think
getting
it's
too personal here.
Belgian.
Belgium?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
there
think
you
it
go.
is.
I like that.
I think it is.
Let's get personal. Did you grow up in North Texas?
I did not.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up between Atlanta and Western North Carolina. I was born in Lubbock.
Okay. I'm doing the map in my head. Go
I
ahead.
am a born Texan.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I like that.
yeah. So, but
But you grew up out north of Atlanta and south of the North Carolina border. Is that right?
yeah. So I was in Western North Carolina,
Okay.
and then in the Appalachian Mountains.
Asheville,
Yes, I was married in Asheville.
beautiful place.
Yeah, I love it.
I lived in Nags Head for a number
Oh,
of years.
you did?
You ever go out there?
Yes. Yeah.
Beautiful Outer Banks, North Carolina.
North Carolina is gorgeous.
It is a gorgeous
It is
state.
a gorgeous state.
It's funny because I'll talk about the places I've lived, and they said, "Wow, you've lived some nice places." And I go, "What's your favorite?" I go, "Well, if you're looking for a beach community, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Not crowded, clean water,
And great
relative-
people.
Great people, relatively low cost of living compared to any other beach resorts. Can't beat that."
Yep.
All right, the song was called Witchcraft, and it's singing about the power of women, and that sometimes they have so much control over men that it's almost witchcraft, right?
Really?
That, yeah, because the women do have a lot of power. So let's talk,
Really? No.
I'm
That's a
so
stretch,
glad
right?
we have a woman
Oh,
on the
there's two
show
women in the
today
studio,
to
you know,
debunk
and which
that.
both, I will say, are both far smarter than me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've always. That's funny. I've always worked around very intelligent women, and I like that.
Well, good.
I love strong, empowered, intelligent women. But there's a lot of people that don't. They're threatened by them,
Well,
which leads me to my next question
Yes.
about divorces. What's the number one reason why people get divorced?
I'd say finances. I mean, I don't know statistically, right? But I would say
But far as you're
finances.
concerned, though,
I'd say finances, and probably it's going to be, you're going to have mental health or
really?
tied in with like some
Because I
sort of
was thinking
substance
like
abuse.
cheating, like he's
Well,
cheating, she's cheating. Kind
that's
of deal.
usually a manifestation of something bigger.
Oh,
Right? Don't
okay.
I mean,
no, you're right. So let's go back to finances. Is it because one of the spouses, one of the two,
Mhm.
does not like the direction that their family's going? We're not making enough money, or we argue over finances.
I think
what is
yeah.
that?
Well, I think it's the stress of finances. So, I mean, I think the stress of finances
Of not
completely-
having enough money?
of not having enough money, or I think sometimes when you have a lot of money, that can lead to the division of a
Interesting.
marriage, right? Because you start losing a little bit of the focus of the marriage.
Becomes more of a business, right?
Yeah.
A partnership in a corporation or something.
And
you
you're
know?
kind of busy out doing things that you sort of forget to pay attention to
the relationship.
the relationship, right?
It's interesting. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Well, I think one of the things that makes more sense to me is that financial stuff, I feel like, and again, I'm young and I don't understand a lot, but I feel like financial things can be kind of, you can get past them if you understand each other better and if you don't rush into things as much and that you've grown together for a much longer period.
Okay, so let's just say a couple gets married while they're young, and they are both struggling. They're as a team financially. They
Both
get their married.
massive student loan debts.
Well, yeah, they get
Yeah.
through all of that. They stay together for 10 plus years. You think that builds stronger than two people getting together at the age of 35, both living. In other words, I guess what I'm getting to is that if they get married younger, does that make them more attached to go the distance because they've gone through more together?
I don't
as
know.
growing up, or maybe
Because so everything that you're seeing out there right now is saying the younger generation, the millennials, are not getting married younger, right? They're wanting to have that financial stability. And so, you look to maybe the baby boomers who are now the gray divorces that got married really young, and they might have gone the distance at a young age, but they've evolved into different people. And I think it goes to what you're saying is that they've lost the relationship. They've lost the communication. They've lost the understanding of one another. They've been dealing with the stresses and the challenges that come with a marriage.
How many divorce cases do you see when somebody has been married for 40 plus years and all of a sudden they decide one day, I just don't want to do this any longer?
I'm seeing more and more.
But that shocks me when I see that.
Yeah. Well, because they're waiting, right? They're waiting until their
Waiting for
children
what?
children are grown, children are through college. Because I think a lot of parents are still, even though legally 18, you're an adult, they're still taking care of their kids into their
True.
early mid 20s.
True.
So they finally reached this point and they're like, okay, this was my purpose. This is why we were together.
But don't you think the kids
I still
see
have
the
life to live.
disconnect, though?
Oh, for sure.
For sure. So the kids might as well say, well, why don't you just do this when I was 22 rather than when I'm 32 with kids? I don't know.
Yeah. But no, I'm seeing, so those are the gray divorces. Those are the baby boomers who are now getting divorced. Because also, it's like the whole thing, the 50s are the new 40s, 60s are the new 50s. So people are getting to 50s and saying, I still have a whole life to live and I am not happy here. So why am I here? And divorce is so much more accepted. It's not a taboo thing, right?
Yeah. No, you're dead on with that.
So
and our life, like you said, our life expectancy, we're healthier longer. We're medicine and just our lifestyle, perhaps we're living longer. We're healthier now at 65 than we were, definitely 30 years ago. 65 was almost okay. You're in the fourth quarter of your life. 65 now is like, hey, it's halftime.
Yeah.
Not really, but definitely. Our guest in studio is Lene Alley DeRutter. She is a family law attorney. Let's talk about your offices. I see a couple locations here, Dallas and Plano, right?
Yes, our main office is in Dallas.
Yeah. Been doing that a while, enjoying it. Was that your first choice of law when you decided to be an attorney?
No.
No?
No.
Let me guess real quickly. You were going to do a personal injury attorney, right?
No. I said I would never do criminal, personal injury, or family, ever.
How did you end up here?
So I had my own practice when I started out because when I got out of law school, it was second career and I kept having kids.
Okay.
And I had started volunteering with legal aid before I even started law school.
Oh, look at that. Okay.
And to start doing family law. And then when it come to my office, I would refer it out. And at some point I thought, well, now I'm a small business trying to make ends meet. And so I've been doing it. So I started doing family law and realized I really actually enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
So
do you ever see where when someone comes to you, they're able to say, you know what? I think we're better off staying together.
Okay, that's the best case scenario, right? Yeah. That is the best email or phone call.
Paid and they stay together.
Yeah, like, well,
you
it's the best. I did have, I've had that happen a couple times, and I've given people, and I do ask people. They come in and they start talking about it, and I kind of listen to what's really going on here, and I'll ask someone, do you really want this marriage? This divorce. Do you really, really want this divorce? And if they hesitate, I'll sort of feel through whatever the issues are, and sometimes I might give them a book to read.
Yeah.
Or make referrals that I'm not qualified to make, maybe.
That's okay.
But, tell them to go talk to a counselor to fight for their marriage. And I've had people email me and say, thank you. Like, we're going to make this work.
That's cool. That's a good story.
That's the best.
All right. Website for you guys before we go to break.
It is calabrespudner.com.
There you go. All right. As we go to break, here he is, Frank Sinatra, and it's witchcraft right here on 620 AM KEXB, your experts in business. That was the song I was trying to play in the last break, and it just would not go. That is witchcraft, and we are featuring Frank Sinatra on the show today. All right, so let's get back to our conversation. Lene Alley DeRutter is our guest in the studio, family law attorney. Okay, so if someone's thinking about getting a divorce, how do they shop a family attorney, like a divorce attorney? What's some of the questions they ask? I don't get it. Like, how do they do that? What do they need to look for?
Yeah, don't go look in the yellow pages.
Okay, well, that's great advice.
Yeah, don't.
Because whoever paid the biggest ad is going to get your attention.
Yeah.
And they may not be their best one, right?
Talk to your friends. Talk to people you trust, right? Like, how would you find a doctor? You're not just going to go and Google a doctor or look in the yellow pages. If we have yellow pages, I don't even know if it exists anymore.
Well, it exists online, but yeah.
Okay.
Same thing.
Yeah. But, talk to your friends, talk to people you trust, and then interview attorneys, because you also want to find someone that fits your personality and fits kind of what you're looking for. You might need someone that's a little softer edges because you're an intense person and they're going to help bring you back. You might need someone who's a little more vocal and is going to be a little more assertive because you've sort of been the quiet one, right? So interview your attorneys and then ask them, have certain questions that are important to you. If an attorney, ask them, you're going to ask them stuff. If they tell you they can guarantee anything, then walk out, because that's not a good sign. No attorney can guarantee any outcome, right? And look for them to educate you about the process, about the issues, about how the law views it. Look for someone who's going to educate you. And then look for the personality fit, right? And just figure out, do you like the person?
Mm-hmm.
That's important.
Because you'll be spending some time with them, obviously, right?
Well, with your most personal information.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to trust them and you need to like them. The worst thing is to have to go, I got to call my attorney.
Why don't we interview mortgage companies and real estate agents the same way we do that as well? Because you got to they're getting some very personal information about
true.
you. It's interesting. I'm just kind of reviewing my life. Okay, so ask questions. Now let me ask you a question. Do women tend to go to female attorneys and men go to men? Does that fit the mold?
So I don't think so in my experience. So, and I've practiced about over 9 years. So, and this is second career for me, but and I've actually been on the other side before I became an attorney. And I think a lot of times you find females matched up with male attorneys and males matched up with female attorneys. And I don't know if it's because maybe you don't want to go into court and have two guys that are looking like they're going after the lady, or two ladies that look like they're complaining about the guys. You know, I don't know what it is. Or maybe they feel like they need that protection, or someone who understands the way that their wife is thinking. I don't know, but that's what I tend to see more.
Let's talk about social media. And, you know, when you get in that divorce time in your life and you're going through the whole process, what should someone do and not do on social media?
I think, I think you articulated it very well when we're on break. Stay off it, right? Stay off social media. I think you should, because there's nothing good that's going to come out of social media really you're under a microscope in a divorce, and you might not be doing anything, and it might be perfectly innocent, but you are under a microscope. So every single thing that you do is going to be looked at tenfold.
If you go check into Double Eagle Steakhouse in Fort Worth, they're going to go, why were you there and who were you with?
And they're going to look on your bank statement, right?
And when you have that $250 dinner, they know it wasn't just you.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can say business, but they're going to question that.
Do they look at your financial records at all?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when you're going through a divorce, whether it's the traditional litigation process or collaborative law, your financials are always going to come out.
What about your cell phone records?
You know, people have tried to get cell phone records and made that a big deal. I don't think the cell phone records is that common in a divorce. I don't think they're as much of a big deal. I think what you see more, especially with the smartphone, is imaging of the phone. Because that's how you capture social media, but you also capture deleted texts, deleted emails. And so if you're looking at someone that you think, let's say, has had an affair during the course of the marriage, it's not that you're trying to go, aha, you had this affair. It's more you're trying to prove they had it, and then you're trying to see how much they spent on it or if they had the children around it. And you get that through somebody's phone. So you see a lot of the imaging of the phones more so than the actual records.
In your 9 years of practicing law, who's filed for divorce more, men or women? Or is it 50-50?
I think it's 50-50.
Yeah.
I think it's 50-50. I haven't actually, I've counted this a couple different times, but I tend to a lot of times represent more men. And
interesting.
Yeah. I don't know why.
In divorce cases, and I love this topic, by the way, if you haven't noticed by now, I just love it. It's I don't know why I love the talk of divorce. I just do. What's the strangest item that people will fight over? Is it the dog? Is it the family pet? Is it a set of golf clubs? Is it a car? Is it a house? What is it?
So the strangest item, Christmas tree, like the Christmas trees,
awesome.
the lit Christmas trees. I mean, people have fought over.
They can get expensive.
Purple
the pre-lit trees are
Yeah.
Any
I'd fight
man,
that too.
I'm gonna say this right now. I don't care what they say about me. Any man who's fighting over a Christmas tree deserves to get the short end of the stick in that divorce.
I have one.
agree with you on that.
Purple crystal glasses.
Purple crystal glasses. Said it
They had to have been like rare purple crystal glasses.
They were super important. I did not understand.
There's a movie clip I'll play. In the break I got to screen it to make sure there's no F-bombs in it. But it's from Wedding Crashers.
Yes.
And do you remember the very beginning? These couples in an arbitration, and they're going back and forth, and the two guys are so funny. Are like, all right, let's they kind of bring them together, and it's all about vacation homes and all this really stuff that you think about it really doesn't mean anything in life, but it's in. Vehicles? I mean, do people fight over? I mean, I probably might fight over that.
I've been fortunate not
I just
to.
couldn't think a red flag up on that.
Been kind of fortunate not to have clients that have fought too much. I mean, they'll make a run at things, but
Make a run at things.
yeah.
I'm making a run of those purple crystal glasses. I'm going to make a mad run at it.
I mean, there are times that you think, I don't understand.
Yeah.
But you also aren't living their life, and
That's true.
there might be memories attached to things.
I think that's what it comes down to. There's a story behind that.
Yeah.
There's a story behind that Christmas tree.
Do you ever get a feeling that sometimes, the other partner goes after something that really is not important to them, but is sort of a vendetta against the other one? Like, what's an example?
I have to be careful here.
Yeah.
Would it be like
tickets, like sporting tickets?
Oh, like
someone who's a
season tickets
major
to the
fan.
Packers.
Yeah.
I want them.
Yeah.
You don't even like football.
Right.
But I want them.
Yeah. Like
you never went to a single game.
There you go.
But you know what? I'm going to do it now.
Well, you know what?
That's
I want
it,
your
right?
purse then.
Yeah.
I want all of your purses, every one of
I
them.
want every Louis you got in that closet.
Yeah.
You hated those purses. Oh, but I'm a Louis fan now.
Yep. Well, you have so much emotion tied up into everything in a divorce.
Oh, my goodness.
It's all about emotion.
It's all about emotion.
It's all about emotion. It's all about emotion. That's why it's really important that you have whoever's on your team, your divorce team, is able to help you look at the long-term resolution and like the new chapter and not get caught up in the emotion.
How about kids? How are they fighting over kids? All right.
Well, they're competing.
They're competing. For custody.
They're competing for custody. They're competing of who's the better parent.
Oh.
So a lot of times, and it's just hard, right? I mean, you might have a mom that stayed home and taking care of the kids all the time, but all of a sudden, you might have a dad who's not going to give her credit. Oh no, I'm just as involved, but you really weren't. But now they are.
Mm-hmm.
And
then all of a sudden, around the kids at least, everyone's on their best behavior.
Yes.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of a
Daddy
sudden.
comes and picks you up, and he's smiling.
Yeah.
And he's got a Happy Meal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's why, divorce is hard.
Yeah.
Y'all. It is hard. And it's hard for people.
Once. This is my second marriage. I was divorced once.
Yeah, me
but
too.
My first one, we were just too young.
Yeah.
Somebody should have hit me over the head with a brick and said, get out of here. So when we got divorced, it was like, you know what? Things aren't really working. Yeah, let's just, that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. We literally went down to the Huntington Beach courthouse and just like, that's a piece of paper. We didn't own any property. We didn't make any money. We're gone. We're done.
And you had no kids.
And no kids.
Yeah.
No assets, no kids, no property. I assumed all the debt. Thank you. The bills she said she paid, she never paid.
Right.
Yeah.
That all got repoed from her or something,
Right.
So it's tough, but I figure this though, if you're gonna do dumb stuff in your life, do it when you're young.
Right. You know what that's called? That's called a starter marriage.
Oh, I had a starter kit.
Yeah. It's like you have your starter house, your starter marriage.
I'm a starter kit.
Yeah.
You get my current wife can thank her
Yeah.
for kind of getting, shaking the bushes a little bit.
Yeah.
You ever refer to your current wife as your second wife?
Yeah, I have before. And as a joke, I'll say this in a grocery store. If we're walking around, I'll say, now that I'm on my sixth marriage, I'm really reflecting back, and I'm just looking for heads turning like, did he just say I say that jokingly all the time. I'm sure there's people out there on their sixth marriage, right?
Probably, yeah. I have not had the
record
fortunate
marriage
repeat
that you've
customer.
had in your life or that you've seen.
How many, like 3?
Oh, that's probably low. That's probably low in this day and age.
Yeah. Luckily, I haven't had the repeat customer of 6 marriages.
I think Larry King's had 5 marriages.
Yeah, I think he's got 5.
Yeah. He just blows through them. He sucks the life out of them. That's how he manages to stay alive all these years.
My first wife, she's been married a couple more times after me, so I don't feel so bad. I don't feel so bad.
I think it's pretty common for people to have a starter marriage, like I did.
Starter marriage.
Yeah.
How old were you when you first got married?
I can't remember.
Like early 20s?
Yeah, it did. I mean, I
think I could drink. I think I was 22, 23.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
23, maybe. I mean, I didn't know what I was doing.
I didn't know what I was doing. How'd you meet your first husband? You don't dance. Okay, you don't dance.
Through friends. There you
go. There you go.
Through friends.
She was my middle school sweetheart.
Oh, really?
Middle school.
Yeah.
And I was still older than her. I was like 4 years older. She was just barely in middle school, and I was just like, she was in 6th, and I was like in 8th, going on 9th. I know, do the math. It's almost scary. Some states I probably could have got arrested.
Well, until you said that, it was kind of sweet.
Yeah. How many years were you in middle school, dude?
Yeah,
Man.
he had to repeat several times.
Yeah.
Golly.
And just recently, this is funny. I'm not even going to say her first name, but just recently she friend requested me on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
She was dark. I couldn't see her. Like she was gone. a ghost to social media. That all of a sudden she comes up, and she's liking my pics.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
So
Well, she approves.
So there's nothing
That's
there.
good,
She
right?
was just Facebook stalking me a little bit. Checking out the
See,
pictures.
two guys talking about this is really not.
Yeah.
is not
But
great.
did you think I clicked on her page and stalked her page?
a little bit?
Damn right I did. Look, where's her kids?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Don't be. Hey, people listening right now, don't go to my page and see who my latest friend request was.
Well, to
All
a
right.
degree, it's you want to feel good for people you've had relationships with, but also you kind of want to laugh at their mispleasure,
Well,
and that's a terrible thing.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like if you're the Cowboys and you get beat first round by the Giants, you want the Giants to go all the way. You want the team that beat you to win the championship.
That's
Well,
true.
you want the person who divorced you
Mhm.
to kind of be on their 10th divorce. It's like, it's not me, it's you.
So that's what I tell people, right? I tell people when they're in a bad, we're in their relationship where they've kind of been kept down, whether
Yeah.
it's the guy or the girl. Don't pay to put my kids through college. Just get through this and go live your best life.
Go live your best life.
Go live your best life.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, and go do it your way, which leads me into our next song by Frank Sinatra on 6:20 a.m. KEXB, your experts in business.
And so I face my way.
There you go. You can do it your way, Luke?
Yeah, I suppose whenever I get divorced.
All right. Well, I hope you never do. That is the one thing I pray for everyone that does. It just does not happen. Lene Alley DeRudder is on our show, family attorney. We were talking in the break about social media, and I think as this last segment, I think we should get into it real quickly. Social media has not helped marriages in any way. I can't think of one useful thing for social media with a marriage. Because when you see a joint Facebook account, Ken and Mary's Facebook page, that just screams one of us has cheated. So now we have a joint Facebook
now we
account
have
because
yeah.
one of us has cheated.
Right.
So
right.
now we have one. Does it not? Come on, think about it.
That's hysterical.
Ken and Mary's Facebook page, this little picture, and they're just like this.
Or
And
one
just-
of us have control issues. I
It
don't
says
know.
one of us cannot let.
Yeah.
One of us can't let go and let the other one be independent. But anyway,
Yeah.
let's talk about social media. Do you agree?
Yeah.
What good?
Well, I think if you have a joint Facebook page, you might be headed for divorce for sure.
Oh
No,
totally.
I would agree. There's a guy that was on the show. He had a joint Facebook page, and he was very, very outspoken about. He made some mistakes in his marriage, and he was very much said, "Hey, I think I left a lot of burden off my shoulders, a lot of guilt by publicly saying what I did," and so
Right.
that's a perfect example. And I think that having a joint account may just, take the mystery out of like, are you talking to somebody?
Right.
Real quickly, do you think couples should have each other's passwords and stuff
No.
on social media? No,
I don't.
really.
Well, because marriage is about trust.
Okay.
If you can't trust one another, then you probably have a problem. I mean,
yeah.
and you probably need to go to a counselor before you go to a divorce attorney, for sure.
Look at that. I did not think you were going to say that.
You didn't?
No, I thought you would say, "Oh, why not?"
Oh gosh, no. Because I mean, you got to trust your spouse.
Yeah.
I don't want you to give reason for me to give my password to my husband. So I'm just
Yeah, that makes sense, Brian. What have you been doing, Brian? I think you're subtly kind of letting us know things that you've done, but trying to, pass it off in terms of a question, so they don't know exactly that it was
My
you.
social media is an open book.
All right.
Because there's every Russian and Nigerian has my passwords and everything, so they're all inside of my computer.
Prenups.
Prenups,
yeah.
real quickly. Prenups.
I think so. One of the things that they're seeing is millennials are doing more prenups, and I think it's smart.
Yeah.
I think it's a mental block, right? You don't want to go into a marriage with the thought that you're going to get divorced.
Mm-hmm.
But I think millennials are being more cautious, and they're saying, well, we want to set ourselves up to be successful and have a long-term marriage, but in case,
Yeah.
because they've lived through, or their friends have lived through nasty, drama-filled divorces with their parents. And so they're entering in and just saying, let's just, let's set expectations. It's like you would manage a business relationship. It's not necessarily,
Yeah.
I don't know how that works out in the long run, because it goes back to the trust thing. And, I have seen where prenups of marriages, 30 years ago didn't work well because it was for a different reason.
If someone's in the middle of a divorce, you surely tell them do not date anybody. I know we talked about social media, but just don't see anybody.
Yeah.
Right?
I just don't think that's a good
Even
idea.
Even if for some reason you have someone that you met that you care about quite a bit, just keep them away, right?
Put it on pause. Well, I think it's different when you're having a divorce and it's property issues only and there's no children.
Okay.
I think that's a different thing. When there's children, you should be focused on your children.
Yeah.
Right? You shouldn't be worried about that.
You're right.
That's my opinion.
All right. Well, we certainly appreciate your time. That website for you?
It's calabrespudner.com.
And what's your password on your Facebook page?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Password 1, 2, 3, 4. Guys, it's been fun. I got to have you back. This is a divorce talk right here on 620 AM KEXB. Unfortunately, it's something we all go. Many Americans go through. I mean, something that's a part of life.
Certainly something we all have to think about.
Absolutely.
We do.
What state is a state? I don't know if you know other states and their laws, but is there any particular really, really difficult state to get a divorce in? Like you always hear about
every one of them.
Really? I mean, I would think like California. Like
I don't know. That's a good question. That's interesting.
I'm interesting. I'm just wondering what it's
Should
like in
Google
other countries too.
Yeah.
If you live in London, you get a divorce. What is it there?
Well, someone's getting the tea.
I'm fighting the T.
Yeah.
And if they got a Land Rover in the garage, I'm fighting for that Rover too. Especially if it's
Or an Aston
pre-1965,
Martin.
I'm kicking some butt. I'm not really a sports car kind of
Oh,
guy.
wow.
I'm an off-road kind of guy.
All right.
You don't want the crystal glasses?
No, I don't. I want the Manchester United season tickets. Is
There
what
you
I
go.
want. Something like that.
You would be so bored.
I would be. I know soccer is kind of boring. Well, if somebody wants to get a hold of you for other family law issues, they can go to you as well, right?
Yes.
You handle it all, not just divorce, right?
Not just divorce. No, I handle modifications. A lot of times with child issues, you go modify it, adoptions, and anything family law related. Right.
I like it. By the way, I was adopted.
You were?
Side note.
Mm-hmm.
That's
you find my
awesome.
parents, I'll give you purple crystal glasses. You can find them. I'll give that to you. All right, coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, single ladies, would you date a man that was self-proclaimed feminist?
Because we got one and he runs sound for us. And he is looking.
Oh,
he is
my
on
goodness.
the market.
As we go to break, how about this one? I've got you under my skin. Bill, let me pod this up real quick. 620 on KEXB. Listen to this.
Under my skin.